All right, hey everybody. So today is October 15th, Thursday, and we're going to learn how to translate and solve inequalities verbally and algebraically. All right. So a couple of keywords to look for are at least, and at least is going to be greater than or equal to. Larry will be at most. At most is going to be less than or equal to. No more than is similar to at most, or the maximum, which would be less than or equal to. And no less than, that'll be greater than or equal to. All right, so the hard part here is creating the inequality. So Sean won an $18 gift certificate to a Mexican restaurant. He wants to order burritos that cost $5.50. What is the maximum amount of burritos Sean can purchase with his gift certificate? All right, so a couple of things. Sean won an $18 gift card. So Sean only has $18 to spend. He doesn't want to spend any of his money. He just wants to spend a gift card. He also wants to buy burritos that cost $5.50 each, right? And we know when we see the word each, that's going to mean we're going to have a variable, right? That's kind of like a red flag that we need to multiply. So what is the maximum? So I said back here when we said at most, no more than, that was very similar to maximum. So right away, I know that I can start off with a less than or equal to. So on the right, I know that Sean only has $18 to spend. So Sean has to spend less than or equal to $18. And on the left-hand side, each burrito costs $5.50. And there's my X for the each. All right, and here's just a one-step inequality. You divide both sides by $5.50. And what you will get is X. And what you will get is X equals $3.27 repeating. So right away, we need to start thinking you can't order 0.27 of a burrito. They're not going to bring you close to a quarter of a burrito. So we're looking for a whole number. Remember, we're looking for the amount of burritos, not parts of burritos. All right. We also know that this $3.27, that's going to make, when multiplied to 550, that's going to equal $18. So we can't go above this. All right, so that's going to get rid of 4. And our answer is going to end up being C. And the reason there is that 3 is the biggest whole number without exceeding this amount. So we can get rid of D. Even though D will give you a true statement with this inequality, it's not what we're looking for. All right, so you can kind of test this. So, and I'm not going to do this a lot. I'm just going to kind of go strictly by the math for these. First, we 550x, and you know that your right-hand side is 18. So when I go x equals, and I put in 3.2727272727, right? Eventually, it's going to get to 18. But we don't want these to equal. I mean, they can if it's a whole number. But when I put in x equals 4, you get 22. And we only have $18 to spend. So that's why 4 doesn't work. And kind of a rule of thumb is when you get down to the last couple answers, if they all satisfy, like if they all make the inequality true, then you're going to want to look for the largest. All right. So like I said, for the rest of these, I'll probably just stick with more traditional math. All right, so Samaya has collected $139 to spend on matching t-shirts for her family reunion. She wants to order t-shirts that cost $4.50 each. What is the maximum amount of t-shirts Samaya can purchase with this amount of money? So we have a maximum. So right away, that's going to tell me less than or equal to. We have our $4.50 each. So that's going to be $4.50 variable. And we have a total of $139 that she has collected to spend. Right, and just like the last one, this is a quick one step. If you want to put that other zero there, that's fine. And when you divide this out, you will get x is less than or equal to 139 divided by 450 is 30 repeating 8. So 30.8, and it will repeat. All right, I'll leave it as repeating. Okay, so we know right away that we can't buy any more shirts than 30.8. So that's going to get rid of D. It's also going to get rid of A. And the reason is we're not rounding up. All right, so we're not going to round up. If you were to put in 15 and 30 into X, both would make this a true inequality. But again, we're looking for the largest because she wants to know what the maximum amount of shirts she can buy is. The max amount of t-shirts. Right, so our answer was C. All right, Debbie has $60 to spend on clothes. She wants to buy a pair of jeans for $20 and spend the rest on t-shirts. Each t-shirt costs $8. She wants to spend the rest. Spend the rest. So that's all of her money. So that's kind of like a max. Or at most. Or no more than. To spend the rest. Whoops. So that's going to be another less than or equal to. We know that her total dollar amount of $60. So here we have to add an extra step. So she wants to buy a pair of jeans. Buy a pair. That's one set of jeans for $22. So she's buying one set of jeans for $22. Then each t-shirt cost, each is our variable, costs $8. And we're adding these together because she's buying the jeans and the t-shirts with the same $60. Here we have just a quick two-step. So minus 22, minus 22. Those cancel. You'll be left with 8x is less than or equal to, what's that, 38? All right, and we're back down to one step problem, divide by 8. And I believe that 38 divided by 8 is 4.75. So like we said before, she's trying to buy shirts. You cannot buy a quarter of a shirt. So right away, D's out. Again, we have a max of $60, so we cannot spend more than $4.75 per shirt. Or I mean, sorry, we cannot buy more than 4.75 shirts, right? So 5's not going to work. So we're looking for the closest whole number that's less than 4.75. And in this case, that's just going to be A. All right. Desiree has at most $90 to spend on accessories for the upcoming dance. She wants to buy a pair of earrings for $19 and spend the rest on bracelets. Each bracelet costs $12. All right, so at most, less than or equal to, she has $90, $90 bucks. She wants to buy a pair, that's one set of earrings, one pair of earrings. That's a one-time buy, so we don't need a variable. As if we had a variable, we would know that that was equal to 1. And then she wants to spend the rest on bracelets that are $12. And remember this big word each here. And don't forget about each, also be per or every. And once again, you guys have a two-step equation. So we'll subtract 19 from both sides. Cancel out. You'll be left with 12x is less than or equal to 71. Divide both sides by 12. It's the opposite of multiplication. And you're going to get 5.92. I think there's repeating numbers. All right, right away, what are we buying here? We are buying bracelets. You cannot buy 0.92 of a bracelet. All right, we know that we cannot spend more than 5.92. So, we cannot get more than 5.92, so we can't have 6. And then we're just looking for the nearest whole number that's less than 5.92, which in this case will be 5. All right, so now something a little bit different. Movie tickets cost $4 per child, $7 per adult. The small family has 3 children and $60 to spend. How many adult tickets can the small family afford? So the movie tickets cost $4 per child, 7 per adult. All right, so we have our words per here. Now we remember back in equations, we saw some similar to this. So we have $4 per child. So I'm going to use C as my variable here, and $7 per adult. Now it gives me a big time clue here. It says that the small family has 3 children. So I know that C equals 3. Now we're just back down to one variable. And they have $60 to spend. How many adult tickets can the small family afford? Right? Maybe afford's a hint here, because they can't spend more than 60 bucks, right? All right, so that's going to be less than or equal to. I have my $60. See, now I had my 4C, but I know that C is actually 3. And then I have my 7A. So here's a 2-step, but we do have to do a little bit of multiplication here. So 4 times 3 is 12, 7A, less than or equal to 60. And you're just normal little 2-step. You guys should all be pros at this by now. And I believe that is 48. And when you divide both sides by 7, these cancel, you'll see that A is less than or equal to 6.85. I believe there's more numbers going on there. Again, right away, we see that we cannot buy 0.85 of a ticket. That's not going to let just 0.85 of a person go in. We can't, you pick any number larger than 6.85, so C's out. And we're left with A and D. And you know we're just looking for the largest whole number. It's close to this, but that's less than that. Sorry, that's less than 6.85. So we will have A here. All right, and last but not least, circus tickets cost $15 per child and $29 per adult. The Robinson family has 4 children and $200 to spend. How many adult tickets can the Robinson family afford? So let's see, we got $15 per child, $29 per adult. The Robinson family has 4 kids, so that's C equals 4. And $200 to spend. And that's all they can afford. So again, that's going to be a less than or equal to. We'll have our 200. We'll have 15C, but we know that C is actually equal to 4. And then we'll have 29A. All right, so we just have to simplify or solve for A. So 15 times 4 is 60, plus 29A. And now we're down to just your traditional old school 2-step inequality. Those are going to cancel. And we'll have 29A is less than or equal to 140. And when you divide both sides by 29, A is going to be less than or equal to 4.82. All right, now we know that if we're buying tickets, we cannot buy 0.82 of a ticket. So that B is not going to fly, and we don't want any numbers larger than 4.82. So we're down to C and D, and we're just looking for the largest whole number that is less than 4.82. You'll see that it's 4. A hint, usually your answer is just going to be the whole number. You kind of, that just disappears, right? So 9 times out of 10, that's going to be your answer. All right, well, I hope that this was helpful. Don't forget that you have a test tomorrow. So good luck on that. Make sure you study, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a good afternoon.